Hi everyone, Lance from Palmerston North Boys High School International again. Today we've got Matthew Davidson, who's a college house manager, and we've had a number of international students through the hostel, and Matt's always been very supportive of us. So for those that are considering boarding, this will be an invaluable little blog for you to have a look at. Welcome, Matt. How are you this afternoon?
I'm great, thank you, Lance. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Okay, so we'll get into it first. And college house manager, I mean, I'm not going to say what do you do, because I know you do plenty, but will you be able to just give a little overview about what your job entails?
Yep, I guess the main thing for me is I'm responsible for the welfare and safety of 185 young men. So underneath that all, it could be anything from organising day-to-day activities and our routines, obviously organising and ensuring our staff here doing what they should, whether it be supervisory staff, laundry staff, the catering team or the cleaners. And also, I guess, for us, our strategic planning. As we move forward to the future, we always want to do things better. So there's a reasonable portion of the job is making sure that we are improving things all the time.
So you talk about strategic planning. Part of your strategic planning will obviously be the facilities that you have there. Can you run us through a few of the facilities that you have at College House?
Yep, no worries. So I guess one of the main parts for any young man is the dining room. So our dining room is about 10 years old, and it was an award-winning building at the time. So we're very proud of our dining room. Our accommodation. So we have 8 dorms, and they have just undergone a renovation program over the past 5 or 6 years. Along those year 13 boarders, they have what we call flats. So they might have 1 or 2 in their flats, and the dorms, they're traditional in one sense of the word, but they also do allow for a little bit of privacy. Recreation areas as well, where boys can spend their spare time, might be playing pool, table tennis, watching movies, and then we've got our outside facilities, our basketball courts, which are very popular, as well as we utilise the school field, cricket nets, swimming pool, all those sorts of things as well.
And those students that are interested in music, anything for them?
Yep, so music room was built or renovated, it's probably a better word, about 3 years ago. So that's a soundproof room where boys can go and practice. There's a piano in there, there's a drum kit in there, plus boys that undertake music at school can store their instruments there as well.
So I think at your peak, Matt, you would have had around 15 international students residing at College House just before COVID hit. So how do they go in the hostel?
Yeah, really good. I think the key thing is boys that get involved in all aspects of school life, they are more successful boarders, but really good. It's a really good chance for them to get to know a whole lot of different people from all different walks of life. And look, the great thing is we see international students going home some weekends with other boarders to get a farm experience and maybe just an experience that they wouldn't necessarily get otherwise.
And occasionally as well, Matt, you leave the hostel open in some of the holiday periods if there's enough students staying in?
Yes, yep, we do. And then we would organise things for the boys to do as well.
Okay, cool. And talking about things to do, can you just run us briefly through perhaps what they do on a school day at College House?
Yep, so a school day is reasonably structured. Get up at 6:45, maybe a bit of exercise before breakfast, then off to school. All our boarders come back to the hostel for lunch. So a whole probably 200-metre walk back to have lunch, then back to school. After school, typically they'd have free time, or they may have a sports practice or another school activity they might go to. Dinner at 5:30, then after dinner it's time to settle in for some homework from 7 to 8:30, supper time, and then bedtime around 9:30 at night for the younger boarders.
Yeah, it sounds like a pretty busy day. And what about their spare time, the weekends? What do the hostel students get up to? What do you provide for them in some of their spare time as well?
Cool. So the weekends, there might be some organised activities, things such as going down to Wellington to watch the Hurricanes play a rugby game, or if there's a cricket game on, we might go and watch that. Other things in the weekend, the boys really love go-kart racing. That's pretty popular. Driving range, Cloud9, which is a trampoline park, is popular. Also the Lido in the summer, the hydro slides and things like that. And then every now and again, paintball is pretty popular with the boys. But then sometimes they just want to hang out with their mates. They've had a pretty busy week. They want to play their sport maybe, and then just chill out.
We've also seen as well from time to time with some of your posts on social media that the boys actually getting help in the kitchen in the dining room as well. Yep.
So our international students, they make some great food alongside our cooks in the kitchen. And we've had things such as an international themed food night, which is outstanding. For example, a couple of our boys, they made some Thai omelets for everyone not so long ago. And it's really just a chance for them to be able to bring a bit of home into the hostel, and our other boarders certainly appreciate it as well.
Now, obviously, we've talked about a number of the fun things they can do, but parents are sending their boys there to do well. How do you guys empower them to study, to get some help? Do you have some opportunities in that regard?
Yeah, and I guess the big thing is because we have our own College House staff, they are also teachers at school. So there's a really good link between school and the hostel. And we work together very closely with the school as well. So, for example, things like study, boys need help, our staff are there to help them. All our study sessions are supervised. There will always be a staff member in the room to make sure boys are on task and focused, and then, of course, to provide help as well.
Okay, so and then also, I mean, probably not such a positive thing, but it certainly is something that helps them. There's a lot of routine, there's a lot of expectation around behaviour in the hostel. So how do you as a manager and your staff help keep the students in the right place at the right time?
Cool. So yeah, we have definite routines, and those routines, they are not ambiguous at all. The boys know exactly what's going to happen, when they're going to happen. So I guess in that instance, we are fairly black and white. And of course, although we don't want to talk about too many negative things, if boys aren't going to do the right thing, there are always consequences. And that might range from doing some extra jobs around the place, or they might be confined to the hostel grounds for a few days. It's dependent on what's going on. But the boys know,
sort of similar to what would probably happen in most households anyway.
Yep, and most of what we do here is modelled on family life. What parents would expect, we expect the same things here at the hostel. And at the end of the day, we're all living together in an environment. So respect and the way we go about things is certainly an important part of hostel life.
Finally, Matt, students that are interested in residing at College House, international students, what are some timelines in terms of they need to apply for College House?
Cool. So we operate the year before entry. Really, before April, we need to get the ball rolling, so to speak. So that would be expressing interest, probably through the international department in the first instance, and then an interview from there, but earlier the better.
Yeah, sure. And of course there are positions that come up throughout the year as well, students leaving for one reason or another, so it's never too late to apply as well. Is that correct?
No, we never close off our enrollments. If positions become available, we will offer them to other people.
Awesome. Well, Matt, thanks so much for your time, and we know that you're a very, very busy man, and I'm sure this information that you have given them will, given international students, will certainly help them make some decisions based around that. For those of you watching, thanks again for tuning in to see what happens at Palmerston North Boys High School, and look forward to giving you a little bit more insight in the school at another time. Okay, take care everyone. Bye.
Thanks, bye.